Dean, we can't hear you.
Okay, I'm here now. Sorry.
There we go.
Duncan, send me an email or send me an email address in private chat. Just go to and me in the chat window, and I will send you an email that will include a game. Let's see. Would you rather anime or scary? Possibly scary anime. What do you think, Duncan? Anime, scary anime. Hello, hello. Nothing from Duncan. Sorry. What? Duncan, send me a private email. Send me a private chat, or if you want to advertise your email to everyone, send it to everyone. But in chat window, send me an email, and I will send you a game. The game, it looks like something scary or something anime. You choose, scary or anime, and I don't guarantee that the scary thing won't also be anime. Not sure. Come on, Duncan. Okay, good. Not a big fan of scary games. So, okay. Oh, geez, Louise. Copy. Not a big fan. So, looks like anime giant robots. Gift to a friend. Send an email. Control V at WPI.edu. Okay, you now are the proud owner of a game called Metal Unit. Looks like a giant fighting robot unit. Okay, and next thing, we got to do a little bit of business. Let's go to, let's go to people. Let's see how this worked out. Final project pairs. Okay, I have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I still have some people who do not have project partners. You cannot do the next assignment without at least a partner. I've got 5 people. And I've got 2 groups, one of 2 people and one of 3 people. Please, 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 right now, like right now.
Hold on, I'm adding my group right now. Sorry.
Okay. Go to the people section of the Canvas page, and you will see your name you will see 3 tabs along the top. Everyone, final project pairs, and project groups. Everyone in project groups are default. I made final project pairs. These are the people you will be working with for the rest of the term. So choose wisely or be assigned, because I'm about to assign. So right now we've got...
Wait, how do I do this?
Okay, go to Canvas. Go to people.
Just join one of the groups that
Go
is
to
open.
go to final project pairs. Yes.
Okay.
You will see at the bottom final project pair 11 and final project pair 12 are still open. Drag and drop your name into one of those groups. Okay, I am going to drop the rest of them starting now. Okay. going to go there. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to go there. Okay. Now, I believe that you can remove yourself from a group and change your group. If these rash assignments that I've made that are thoroughly random are terrible, you hate each other, whatever, or oh, my friend Bob is in Project Pair 12 of 3 people, can I switch with one of the people in there? That's fine. I don't care. But in order to complete the next assignment, you need a partner. Okay? And that was the point. 10 groups successfully found a partner. Good for you. Okay, next. Quiz is due tonight at midnight. Tutorial 3 is due tomorrow night at midnight. Anything else? Tuesday's class is going to be y'all presenting your I'm calling them case study / pitches for essentially your final project. So let me just go to assignments and picture level presentation. And let me just go over this one more time. I'm going to share my screen. Share. Okay. With a partner and one group of 3 people, pitch your final project. Just like your case studies, these should be 3 minutes and 20 seconds long, 10 slides of 20 seconds each. Also, I want to point out that you can't borrow time from other slides. So you can't stay on one slide for 10 seconds and the next slide for 30 seconds. 20 seconds each, 10 slides. So I saw some questions in the Discord of make a real place with a purpose. Does this have to be a real place or can it be a fictional place? It can be a fictional place, but the whole point of believable fiction is that it is believable, right? So if you are making the castle of the Goblin King, it should have a place where the Goblin King sleeps as well as holds court, and maybe where the Goblin King eats, and maybe even where the Goblin King poops. I don't know. Do goblins poop? I think so. So just like going through a pattern language, right? A residence needs certain things. I don't think sanitation is a goblin concern. Yeah, well, maybe these are clean goblins. I don't know. The rare tribe of red goblins that are fastidious. So fictional is fine, but for instance, if you're making again the corporate headquarters of evilcorp.com, there are certain things that corporate headquarters needs, right? It needs black marble in the lobby. It needs a lobby, right? Maybe elevators. It should be a very tall building because this is a very big corporation. Whereas if this is a startup, and this is the corporate headquarters of WeJustStarted.com, making the WeJustStarted.app. Maybe you're renting a storefront in a strip mall, and everything is kind of half made, right? So it should be a real place, and that's an interesting thing. The half half office in a strip mall, because this used to be a Chinese restaurant, right? And so the kitchen is still in the back, and it's still got the stoves for giant woks, right? Which leads me to the 1A. What is the present action? What the does well? Okay, 1B actually. What was the area building originally built for? So my dog has decided to invade class. Here's my dog. Hi, this is Suki. She's very cute. She got a flower on her collar when she got groomed. Okay. But she has invaded because she still smells my sandwich. So she is my best friend when I have food. Oh, thank you, Alexis. You would die for Suki. Suki would die for you, for me at least. She would protect me from everyone. She barks at people. So she is looking at me. She is giving me a look. Here, we're going to keep talking a little bit with Suki. Suki does not like the microphone. Okay, so what is the purpose? What was this building originally built for? What it was a strip mall with a Chinese restaurant. What is the history of the area? I just read a cool horror book called Horror Store, in which an IKEA was built on the land where there was a terrible prison in the 19th century. And so it's a haunted IKEA. And the various couches and stuff every night get befouled, and the manager asks a couple of employees to stay the night and figure out who is befouling the IKEA. And spookiness ensues. What do you think, Sue? Do you like this? Do you not like this? I don't think she likes this. Okay. We're getting down. Oh. Okay. So, what was the land around it? We don't always bulldoze everything to a perfectly flat plane. Also, I told some of you individually, when you place a landscape, it's a flat plane, right? But if you go outside, like walk across the quad is flat. It's a flat piece of land, but it's got bumps, right? The grass is slightly higher than the paths. The grass itself has ups and downs to it. There's a certain level of noise. And one of the things in the landscape tool set is a noise tool, which basically you can rub. I think of it as rubbing, but you can apply to the flat plane that is your landscape, and give it, and trust me, you don't want to crank it up too high. You want it low so that there's a bit of noise to your flat plane, because I have seen people leave the plane flat, and their their player actor falls through it at odd moments because it's perfectly flat. So you want to do that to every place essentially that your player's gonna be able to walk. Okay. What is the present action? What does the player want to do? Where does he want to go? He or she, they, where do they want to go? Sorry. My pronouns, this is old. Anyway, why are we there and where am I going? How did we get from the original intention to the present use of the area? Did people abandon it, retask it? Is it still used for the exact same thing? These are all questions you should be answering in your presentation. And then go through the highlights and the final, let me put up, let's see. Level design, beta version, final UK level. Okay, this is by the time we get to the final UK level, or UDK final level, we've already talked about this. But basically, every level, every final project should have a tableau, a vista, and a weenie. And it should tell a story using the environment and obstacles. Once again, note that I don't talk about mechanics. I don't say this should be a shooter or a platformer. You could certainly have platforming sections where I have to jump from place to place. That's fine. You can, I mean, you could make it a beat 'em up, whatever. But the purpose of this assignment is not for you to kill yourselves programming game mechanics. It's to explore exactly what you can do in a level. But one of the things you have to do is define your verbs, right? What can I do in this game? So, for instance, I think I talked about Dear Esther maybe in this class. Sometimes I get confused which class. But Dear Esther is a walkie, right? Where you walk through an environment and voice cues are triggered by trigger boxes. Much like your door trigger, they're not really different between a door trigger and a sound trigger. It's just what is that trigger pointing to trigger. But you just walk around. And in one of the patch notes, you know how when you patch things, developers put out what exactly is in this patch. In one of the patch notes, they took out jumping because players were bunny hopping inappropriately throughout the game, right? And Dear Esther is a very serious game. It takes itself very seriously, about death and plague and the self and grief. And for the player to bunny hop throughout it, the developers decided that bunny hopping should not be a mechanic because it wasn't used anywhere in the game. So define your mechanics. Can I crouch? Crouch is pretty default, but you can also turn it off. If you can crouch, make me use crouch somewhere. What was I? Oh, I was playing Ethan Carter this past weekend, and you can crouch. I think I crouched once to get out of the mine. And other than that, I haven't used it up until the end of the mine. So they used it. it's there for a reason. They probably could have taken it out. So, what assets are you going to need to accomplish your goals? And that is not gameplay like an inventory system. That is, you should have a list of everything you're going to need. If you're making a corporate headquarters, you're going to need furniture, office furniture. You're going to need various glass and steel materials. Is there are there physics objects? What static meshes do you think you'll need? What materials do you think you'll need? What sounds do you think you'll need? And this is a yeah, you can also inspect stuff on the floor a little closer. In fact, that's what that's the only thing PT lets you do, is zoom in on things. And that is the major mechanic of PT is I'm going to look closely at this thing, right? There's one point where you have to push X. And there's a clue to pushing X. But that's also an Ethan Carter. Yes, you're right, Javier. So you need a list of assets, sounds, and these can be like, you don't need to at this point have found all these things. This is for your pipeline to say, okay, in order to build this room, we're going to need a desk, 2 chairs, a potted plant, light fixtures. Don't forget doorways and pipes. I think I'm gonna. So the problem is you're designing and building this final project at the same time while I'm talking variously about level design ideals. So, like, I haven't gotten to get rid of all. Well, now I am. Get rid of all 90-degree angles because they're very rarely in buildings. The bare walls and square rooms are generally broken up by either furniture or pipes or light fixtures or trim. A lot of trim. You can model stuff in Maya and import it into Unreal, sure. That is not required. So once again, like in your tutorials, you have been using those Infinity Blade packs. There are various other packs, both you can make a living. Well, I don't know if you can make a living, but you can make money putting up models in the Unreal Engine store for other people to use. And you can purchase things for use in Unreal levels. Once again, if you purchase things, please, in your final level, include a README, readme.txt with credit of where you got all your various assets. And prioritize your build. This is kind of, I'm not even sure I agree with this, but I keep it in. So generally in games, there are 3 types of priorities. These are the absolute, this game is not a game, this thing is not a thing without these things. So these are the things we absolutely need, right? Which is the corporate headquarters building with I'm going to need the lobby. I'm going to need an elevator. I'm going to need a conference room, and I'm going to need a penthouse suite for the CEO, right? If there's time, or what would I want then is to have a courtyard in front of the building that I arrive in with a fountain. What else would I want? I would like people models, at least on the ground floor, who are walking about, just general crowd at the bottom. But I can go without it. I could say I can change. See, this is the wonderful thing about storytelling. If I change a line of text, I can get rid of a crowd in the lobby by saying it's Saturday, right? And suddenly it's the weekend, so nobody's here, right? And by changing that one line, I can save a whole bunch of time in modeling a bunch of people, or getting a bunch of people models to wander around, and all the pathing that entails. So while I want a crowd because it gives a life to this building, if I'm finding it terrible to actually do that, I can cut it. Or for instance, in the elevator, I want elevator music, right? Again, it's kind of a fun thing, have elevator music in an elevator. It's not absolutely necessary. This game will work without that elevator music, but I want it, right? So we have our list of needs, our list of wants, and then if there's time, and this is once I got my needs done and my wants done, then I'm going to put this and this and this in, right? I'm going to put a new sky dome instead of the default. I'm going to put birds in the sky, and I'm making this up, but I'm going to go through and do another polish pass on everything, and use decals to scuff up the bottom of the walls in the office area, because that's a high traffic area, and I want it to have a little bit of dirt along the bottom of each wall to make it seem not new, right? So I want to do a polish pass. And I used to always say, if there is never time, so it's a useless category. I don't believe that's true, because if you've underscoped, and I've seen people underscope this project because they're terrified by Unreal, then they get all their needs and all their wants because they didn't trust themselves to master Unreal as well as they did. And so they kept their final projects small, and I let them, because I don't want to push anyone past their level, but I do want you to have that if there's time, so that when I say, hey, this, you've got 2 weeks left, it looks like you're going to finish up all your wants by the next class. What's in the if there's time, because it looks like there's time, right? So the if there's time are your polish, right? So think about I it's I think Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed twice now, and
3 times, I think,
three
actually.
times. Okay, um, but sometime last spring, they said, it is functionally complete. We are polishing. We are doing passes on everything to polish it, and that's where they're adding, and there may be business decisions involved in delay. Um, at the same time, the extra time to add a polish pass to make sure the pipes are all the same color, to add a lived-in look to everything, to do another lighting pass, because honestly, um, just because we're 7 weeks long, I don't really get to talk much about lighting. But if you have time, um, I can give you resources on how to make your lighting better. I guarantee you, your favorite levels of whatever game, whatever AAA game, if you just put work lights on, just straight down white lights, they would not look nearly as professional and accomplished as with uh, good lighting design and placement. And there are people whose entire job is to light levels, right? So be aware of that. Um, that's the three things: need, want. If there's time, you should have something in every category, and be more specific than another polish pass, right? You want to say, we're going to this particular area, it should be half burned, right? Or I need smoke coming in through the windows, and that's a particle effect, and I can work on that more, right? So be aware. Remember, you are going to have a path through your level. One of the things we talk about, and I'll talk more about this, geez, I've already used most of class, oh gosh, is getting people to go through your level with both the illusion of choice, as in I can go in any direction, but this is the direction that I seem to want to go in, right? That's all over Ethan Carter, just in the mines itself. It's a pretty linear thing, but there are paths that branch off all the time. And there were a number of times when I went off down a different path, and I basically came to a dead end. So you should have a definite path, where the player sees each of the things that you want them to see: your vista, your tableau, your weenie. And this is a presentation. You can pre-record it, or you can do it live on Tuesday, but I will be playing them all on Tuesday because we only have 12 of them. So we should be able to get through all of them on Tuesday. Okay. Any questions? Questions, thoughts, problems? Okay. So I want to talk more. Let me stop this screen share, and go get my other screen share. So I actually have a PowerPoint, which I never have. but I have a PowerPoint. This is actually based on a talk by Scott Walker, I believe. I will provide a link. Actually, I have it right here. Scott Rogers, I'm sorry, called Everything I Learned About Level Design, I Learned from Disneyland. It started with that and me thinking about that. And I keep adding to it over the years. And it has grown to be much, much longer and include many of my own pictures. So let's talk. Let's see, go back to Zoom. And I will share the screen. And did I share it? Are you seeing? No. Yeah, I'm not. Okay. Sure. Okay. So let's rock and roll. Slideshow? Come on. Is it going? Are you guys seeing a slide? Just the Weenies and Disneyland slide or all of PowerPoint? All of it. Okay. Let me fix that. Slideshow. From beginning. Okay, there we go. Now the question is, are you seeing the presentation or the presenter's view? Presenter's view, of course. Okay, I'm going to stop this share and I am going to reshare. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now you should be seeing just the slide. This is the first time I've ever done a PowerPoint on Zoom. Also, I want to make sure I can see the chat. I can see the chat, I think. Okay, I'm going to put that over there. Okay. Okay. And this is probably like, I have 63 slides in this PowerPoint. Obviously, in the, 10 minutes that are left, I'm not going to get through all of them. So, and now I cannot. There we go. What's a weenie? I already explained this. Weenie is what makes the dog go across the screen. So I'm going to move on. Disneyland. Disneyland was opened in 1955. The big difference between Disneyland and other amusement parks of the day, it was the first theme park. Amusement parks originated around the turn of the 20th century in the early 1900s as a way, and we can go back to circus, essentially. Amusement parks come from circuses. The major focus of an amusement park in the early 20th century, it was for dating couples. And the entire idea of the various rides was a way for couples to be thrown against each other so that they would bump into each other body to body. So early roller coasters, early tilt-a-whirls, even the earliest dark rides. The Tunnel of Love was just a dark tunnel so that couples could smooch. Walt Disney, the guy, wanted an amusement park where he could take his entire family. the idea being that the focus of the amusement park is no longer the couple, but the nuclear family of 4, 2 children, and this is 1955. Actually, it was started around 1950. So we've got the don't know whether or not to answer. What is that, Jeff? So the nuclear family and the gender roles were pretty much assigned. So his idea was, well, since he ran an animation and movie studio, instead of letting architects, the tunnel thing. Okay. Instead of letting architects and builders and contractors design his amusement park, he let storytellers and animators design his park. It's in Anaheim, California. It is pretty close to the downtown of Anaheim. He bought a very large plot of land for the time that has since turned into a very constrained plot of land. There were originally 1, 2, 3, 4 lands. Main Street USA, Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, and Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland was not finished when the park opened in 1955. The idea was that, well, you can see in this map here, and this is what's called a fun map, was that you went around the park in a circle. And in fact, the original park, it has since changed. They keep changing, both Disneyland and Disney World. But Adventureland originally would attract you, and you'd go in a clockwise direction around the park. Tomorrowland was hidden from the hub. Let's move on. Also, I don't have my phone near me, and with this presentation going, I can't see the time. So tell me when class is over, and we'll pick this up a week from today. Jeez Louise. So anyway, so the first thing you see, the first weenie. I have plenty of time. I got 2 minutes. The first thing you see is the railroad station. In fact, this is the plaza outside of Disneyland.
You can get an hour range with 2 minutes.
Oh, I got an hour and 10 minutes. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I'm gonna slow down then. Right, I have 61 minutes. I'm an idiot. Okay. Woo, I was gonna cut class short. Okay, so well, this is the train station out in front of Disneyland. This is the first thing you see. I've already talked about how it hides the castle. One of the other things that can you see my cursor? Yes. Okay. So one of the big innovations that he made, he wanted to make Disneyland a separate place from where it was, which is Anaheim, California, which is a city. So the first thing they did was they made a berm around the entire thing, which is a big hill. And the idea was to block out the sight line of the rest of the city all around the park. So when you're in the park, you can't see Anaheim. And that continues to this day. There are places where you can glimpse stuff outside the park, but when you're in the park, you generally can't see outside of the park. When you're outside of the park, though, you can see into the park, and there are various things you can see. This is the plaza, and you can see kind of the ticket booths, and the security is underneath the umbrellas there that let you to that plaza in front of Disneyland. This is the iconic picture. We're a little off to the right. The iconic picture that everyone takes, the Kodak moment, because Kodak used to be a sponsor of Disneyland when they sold film throughout, is to take a picture in front of the flowers shaped like Mickey Mouse. There were other people taking pictures in front of Mickey Mouse, so we jumped here. By the way, those are MQP students from 2008, when we did an MQP in Disney California Adventure, where we essentially made an ARG, that an alternate reality game that ran through the entire Disney California Adventure Park. Okay, so here is through, once you get through, actually you can see the ticket line. This is through security, and you've already bought your ticket, but this is where you, on either side, you go through the final thing, and they actually take fingerprints, or they used to before COVID, so that it's actually cheaper to buy multi-day tickets than single-day tickets, right? So they match those tickets up with fingerprints so that you don't buy a 4-day ticket and then either give them or resell them to other people after 2 days, so that you can both get the cheaper price. That's now changed. I would not be surprised if they put iris scans or something in. So I talked to you about the tunnel that leads into Disneyland. That's my wife going, "Why are you taking a picture of this crappy tunnel? This seems stupid, Dean." But notice you still can't see Disneyland. Disneyland itself is blocked from you, but we're building anticipation. These are the posters for attractions in Disneyland. Think about this. There's a poster advertising the railroad in Disney. This is actually Disney World, not Disneyland. I mix them up in these pictures because I go to both. But this is an advertisement for an attraction in a park that you've already paid to be in. So there's no actual capitalistic reason to advertise these things. That's Splash Mountain. That's the Disneyland or Disney World log flume. There's no reason for these posters to be there except to build anticipation, right? This is, look what's coming up. Look what you can do today. You have all these opportunities. And let me tell you, the Disney World Railroad is not that great a ride. I mean, it's okay. There's nothing terrible about it. But it ain't no Splash Mountain or Space Mountain, right? There's no roller coaster. It's mostly transportation. But they're advertising it. Okay, so this is actually taken during Christmas time. This is right out of that tunnel. We are now in, this is Disney World. We are in Disney World proper. And there's not, I mean, there's the tree, but it just looks like a big plaza. Also, I don't know about you, Can't wait to ride on Smart World. Wait. I remember it was some sort of spaceship ride on the monorail. Nowadays I look at this and I get the heebie-jeebies over how crowded it is. And I'm like, oh, that's scary to be there. Oh my God, look at all those people. So anyway, the other tunnel that you could go through to get in is on the opposite side. So it's blocked. Any view of the rest of the park is blocked by these buildings on either side. And it's not until you go to about here that you can actually see your first weenie. And this is the Disney World castle. You can tell it's big. The Disneyland castle is so cute. It's tiny. It's so tiny. This is actually down at the end of Main Street. And I just want to point out that all of Main Street is a funnel to take you through, and this is it's designed to be Disney's hometown around the turn of the century. The idea is that it's around 1910, and I want to say it starts with an L, in Missouri. But the idea is that we are invoking nostalgia. This is a different world, a simpler world, and nostalgia for, no, it was a little town. It's a little town, McKenna. Look up Walt Disney. It might be Kansas. Look up Walt Disney hometown. Do that quick Google, and it'll tell you what his, there's a Disney museum there now. Anyway, so the idea is that this is a simpler time, and the funny thing is that now no one is alive who was alive. Well, yeah. So unless you're over 100 years old, Marceline, Missouri. Yes. Thank you, Nick. Marceline, Missouri. No one is alive now who has a sense of nostalgia for this time and place, right? We're all too young. So it's a personal nostalgia on Disney's part, but and once again, you know, it's kind of a bummer, but this is the nostalgia for the America that was, and the question is, for who, right? This is white, heterosexual, cis, nostalgia for a simpler time. So let's put that in perspective. Also, note, just look at this crowd, and this is Disney World, so it's Florida. Look for the people of color here. Not so many. Yeah. So just be aware of that all of this is kind of mid-century 1950s designed by white dudes. So this is down, what you see, these umbrellas here. This is what's known as, well, actually down here, the hub, right? And if we go all the way back to this, we're standing about here. The hub is the central point of the park. And in the very center of the hub is a statue of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse. Right? So the interesting thing here is that you're going on this little journey down through Americana, and then you are blocked by this kind of little park that because you have this weenie pulling you down. So you'd think the first thing I want to do is go to the castle, go through the castle. This hub blocks you, and you say, "Oh, I have to go left or right." So let's look. Also, I want to show you if we turn around and look back during the day, and this is once again intentional, looking up Main Street from the hub, Main Street does not look good. It's okay. It's not terrible. But it looks like a city street. The train station, again, oh, there's a building up there. I don't think it's architecturally interesting enough to say, oh, I want to go there, right? It's a building. It's certainly not the castle, right? But at night, when we want everyone to leave, what we do is we make it magic, right? And they use lights to say, look at this beautiful, wonderful place. Because the fireworks are over and get out, essentially. So again, this is at Christmas. So we've got the Christmas tree being the central weenie here of, oh, let's go look at how beautiful that Christmas tree is. The other thing to remember is that Main Street USA, there are no real attractions. In Disneyland, the only attraction on Main Street, well, there are a bunch of transportation attractions where you can take a horse cart or an old-timey car, a trolley, various, I think there's a double-decker bus that goes down there sometimes. And those usually run in the morning only, while the crowds are still light. Because if the crowd is like this, they're not getting any transportation through. But the rest of Main Street, and there's an old-timey movie theater in Disneyland that's no longer there in Disney World, that shows like Steamboat Willie and stuff. But the rest of Main Street is gift shops where you can buy your souvenirs on the way out. Treats. So this is hot dogs. This is a sit-down restaurant that's usually closed by this time of night. Over here is Main Street Bakery, but it's really a Starbucks. And there's an ice cream place and a candy place, right? So as you're leaving, oh, also all these buildings that look like separate buildings, they all connect. So you can go in here and walk inside all the way up to the end. While you're going to get shown a lot of merchandise along the way. And we want you to buy things. But essentially, the path from the hub back out includes the buildings too. And we want you to have an ice cream on your way out. Take some candy for home. Maybe a hot dog. Are you hungry? Oh, and get a T-shirt and a hat and some Mickey ears, right? So, so the weenie here is the light itself. In fact, I don't have a picture of it, but they dim the lights in the rest of the park. The darkest part is, in fact, I can go to the map here. The darkest part starts here. They actually close Toontown, I believe at 8 for the fireworks, so you can't even go here. And they basically shut down the lights all around. They dim them progressively, pushing people with light towards the hub and the main street to get you out. Weenies, getting back to weenies. The idea was that every land would have a weenie, right? And they play a little fast and loose now because they've added things in the 100 years, not quite 100 years, 80 years. Actually, they just celebrated 65 years since it opened. But the original weenies were the castle for Fantasyland, the Mark Twain riverboat. Ooh, let's go look at that riverboat, but it moved, so it was a cool moving weenie. Thunder Mountain was built later. That didn't come till 64. The Matterhorn came in 57, and it paired up with the castle so that it would pull you basically around this way. And then we have the rocket ride that goes around. We've got Space Mountain. The one place they didn't have a weenie to pull you through, even though he's got them circled, these are from his talk, was Adventureland. Because the idea with Adventureland was that it's twisty turny and there's adventure around every corner. It says the tree in particular seems like the weenie in that previous picture. The tree, oh yeah, absolutely, the Christmas tree. Here, this when it opened was the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. There is no clear sight line to see the entire Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. It just looks like foliage. So it doesn't quite work as a weenie. The idea was, once again, and this, if you've ever been to Disneyland, Adventureland is actually quite tight. There were lots of times when I would say, let's go through Frontierland. It's longer, but it's not nearly as tightly packed and crowded as going through Adventureland. So we'll actually get to where we're going faster. So the other thing that you'll notice is there's always a way through. This goes back to games. You never want to have your player walk in a straight line to their objective and then it ends and they have to walk back through all the stuff they just walked through, right? We want to change what they walk through, or we want the path to keep going around. So here we go through Adventureland. We've got New Orleans Square. And this was always one of the big flaws of Disneyland. You got up to Critter Country, which is Winnie the Pooh and Splash Mountain, that sort of thing. and then it was a dead end and you had to come back. Eventually they built another path here from Critter Country around to Frontierland again. And now this entire, I'm on the wrong thing. Critter Country here, they built another path along the railroad tracks up to Frontierland. This is an older map, but nowadays this entire area here is Star Wars land. And you can go into Star Wars land all through Star Wars land and come out about here, and you're in Frontierland. So they've corrected the dead end of Critter Country over the years. When this map was drawn, it was a dead end and not good. Big Thunder Mountain is the weenie of Frontierland, and Fantasyland has also been expanded. There's now New Fantasyland, which actually spreads. It's all in here, and it includes a bunch of other. Well, it includes the Be Our Guest, the Beauty and the Beast castle. This is a massive. It's a small world building that's just not present in Disney World. So these are the weenies throughout the park. He's got them circled. Space Mountain for Tomorrowland, and the rockets, the various rockets. There's even what is now the Pizza Planet rocket over here. Oh, again, I'm pointing at the wrong picture. So this is now Pizza Planet. It's a restaurant. There's nothing much there. Yeah, James, that's why fast travel exists. Fast travel in Disneyland is the railroad, because there's this railroad station here. There's a railroad station here. There's a railroad station, I believe, back here somewhere. Where is it? It's around here. And then there's not one in Tomorrowland because it doesn't make sense to have an old-timey railroad in Tomorrowland. And boom, you come back to Main Street. So fast travel. You're right, but I would say that's a cheap solution. If your level designer is good, you don't need fast travel because you've always got a new place to explore. Okay, so getting back to the hub, I'm going to skip this. Also, just want to point out, in Disneyland, when you stand over here, and this was pointed out to me by an Imagineer. I'm not the horrible person, but apparently many horrible people have thought of this. If you stand over here and take a picture pointing this way, Mickey's nose sticks out of Walt's groinal area, and it looks bad. In Disney World, they changed the statue so that Mickey is a step forward from Walt, and you can't get that picture. But in Disneyland, you can. So this is the, notice this is Disneyland because you can see the smaller castle. This is blocking your way. You can't go straight through the castle. I mean, you can, but psychologically you go, okay, I have to go left or right. Here it is in Disney World. You can see the same statue. Would this be considered a weenie? You know that GIF of Cary Grant saying "Get out"? That's my reply to that. So notice the hub in Disney World is much, much bigger than the hub in Disneyland. There's lots more room, but I'm still stopped by this fence around the statue, so I have to go a different way. So if I look to the right, this is looking into Tomorrowland, and I stood here and took these pictures. If I look to the right from the statue, this is what I see. And what I see is not a weenie, right? There's nothing pulling me there. It's just a clutter of crap. There's foliage. There's something back there. There's like a tall tower. There's that purple building on the right. But there's nothing really doing anything for me. They have since changed this. This is what it looks like now. That's certainly much more inviting than this. That's not a way I'm going to go. If I look left, this is what I see. Again, nothing to pull me. Not a great look. But if I keep turning left from here, I see this. And, I like adventure. Adventure is fun. A whole land full of adventure. I would go there. This is the way they wanted you to go when you originally got in the park. And the old secret would be to, if you knew this, when you got to the park in the morning, travel in a counterclockwise direction, because the ride lines over in Tomorrowland are shorter in the morning than in Adventureland, and vice versa. In the late afternoon, the rides in Tomorrowland are much more crowded. That has since changed because it's become common knowledge and people just fan out. And the psychological tricks don't work as well when everybody knows them. But this is the way it was designed. Here's Disneyland again, looking back from the entrance to Adventureland. There's my other weenie. That is the Matterhorn, which I hadn't ridden until about a year ago. I'd never ridden it. So that was exciting. It was a year ago, May, that I rode the Matterhorn for the first time. Also notice these rocks. They're pointing towards something. And these are actually, these have been removed since this picture was taken. But they're known as the French fry rocks because they look like really giant French fries. They're saying, go this way. This is where tomorrow begins, right? This is Tomorrowland. And this is Disneyland. You'll note here, let's go back to this. We've got similar rocks here, but they're blue and purple. They're not French fry-y. We've got this lagoon. This is the Disney World Tomorrowland as opposed to the Disneyland Tomorrowland. And they were going for a blue and white cement thing like the movie. Well, the movie was based on the land, not vice versa. But here, here, it was a bronze Jules Verne look. Old Star Tours. Were you the rebel spy in Star Tours? Yeah, you had a magic moment. This slide is actually from Scott Rogers' talk. Draws players towards goal geographically as well as visually. A change of altitude can enhance drama or scale. And when designing your levels, think three-dimensionally. Nowadays, you see, this is the go round and round rocket ride. It is functionally exactly the same as the Dumbo ride, except the cars are shaped like rockets instead of Dumbos. In Disney World, this entire ride is on the roof of a building. We went in 2016 for my high school graduation. They must have noticed my grad button. Oh, cool. One of the things the cast members are charged with is making magical moments. Every cast member has to do X number of magical moments, and that might just be somebody spilled their soda and they just say, don't worry about it, and they get them a new one. Once my wife and I were waiting for our fast pass to activate, and cast member came up and said, are you planning on watching the Fantasmic show? And we were like, well, we were going in the Haunted Mansion and then coming back out and seeing if we could get a spot. And they're like, well, come over here and we'll put you in VIP seating. And the password, but you see that guy over there? That's Toby. Go up to Toby and tell him the password is thingamabob. And we got out of the Haunted Mansion and went over to Toby, and the woman was there. The woman who had asked us was standing next to Toby, and she welcomed us in and brought us right down front and center and gave us the best seats in the house for the big Fantasmic show, which is better than the fireworks show at Disneyland. So magical moments. Yes, they are, McKenna. Okay. So make the player backtrack and or change direction to give them more information. If you're going to backtrack, you've got to see something new. Okay? Hide things with geography. What's on this side of the French fry rock? I can't see it when I go this way, but when I come back, maybe there's something cool over here. Okay. This is, what is this? This has got to be Big Thunder Mountain. Or no, that's Splash Mountain. Sorry. That's Splash Mountain with the train going by. I don't remember what I was supposed to say about this. Okay, moving on. This is my wife, when I took this picture, said, why are you taking this picture? And I'm like, look how those trees block the castle. And she's like, you're crazy. Why are you taking pictures of trees blocking the castle? And I'm like, because I want to show my level design people that landscape, natural stuff is just important for sight lines as man-made things. Because Walt Disney World was the streets of Walt Disney World are the second floor of Walt Disney World. There is an entire floor underneath the streets of Walt Disney World. That is, they're called the utilitunnels, because of course they are. And they're all cast only. There's an entire city down there. There are cafeterias, there are break rooms, there are changing rooms, there are lockers. So they have a mini subway down there. Yes. So if ground floor of Walt Disney World is the second floor, every plant in Walt Disney World is planted on a roof. That means a landscape architect decided where that tree should go. That means, and one of the reasons I talk about Disney World, aside from the fact that I've spent way too much time there and reading about it, is it is one of the most designed places on Earth. Every plant, every waterway, heck, there are the ducks at Disney World are there by the sufferance of the people who designed Disney World. There are feral cats that live in Disneyland that are there precisely to keep the rat population down. They don't want you to ever see a rat in Disney World or Disneyland. But seeing a cat, that's cute. So there are a bunch of cats that live in Disneyland that you will see from time to time. They don't like people. They stay away. They stay in all the places during the day where people can't go. So you might see them over on the grass behind a fence somewhere. But they are there precisely so you don't see a rat. Okay. Oh yeah, here's another tree that blocks the sight line because, hey, I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm supposed to be in Liberty Tree Square here. I'm supposed to be in colonial New England. Do I have a picture? No. Well, here's Space Mountain, the weenie. I wish I did. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I've stopped sharing. Screen sharing has stopped. Okay. Let me just see if I can find one because this is one of the coolest things and it's a designed thing. Photos. Albums. Last time I was in Disney World. If I can find this, it'll be excellent. Not sure. Actually, let me just Google it. Disney World, Liberty Square sidewalk. Images. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is Disney's dark side. I want. Okay. Can I see this bigger? Well, okay. I'll just share this. Share screen. Okay, share. Okay, so see this? This is the sidewalk in Liberty Square. Note there's red sidewalk and there's brown sidewalk. the brown sidewalk is there. I mean, they don't need to do this, but they did this because in colonial New England, there would be open sewage down the middle of the street. Yes. So this brown little piece of the sidewalk is basically supposed to represent sewage. You can walk through it; it's just different color sidewalk. But they designed this so that subconsciously you could see that this is where people live. This is the muddy, icky thing, right? What a crappy idea. Okay, so let me stop that share and go back to this from current slide. Alt-Tab. Here's my Zoom meeting and screen share screen. There we go. Share. Okay. So yeah. So all these trees are planted. Now, I'm pretty sure that a root system for a tree like this big would need enough support that it would be deep enough that there are sections that go that are ground right through to I don't know, ground below the underground city. But I have seen cranes bringing in trees that are quite large and planting them around the various parks, that it's not inconceivable that a tree of this size is literally planted and shored up and placed exactly where it is in order to block the view of the castle. Okay, so let's move here. I already talked about Half-Life 2 Citadel. These are better pictures than what I was trying to find on the fly. This is one of the early levels where you're walking around the square of the oppressive city. This is much later. This is actually in episode 2, or episode 1 or episode 2, where the Citadel, you have gone in at the end of Half-Life 2 and blowed up the Citadel, and now you've got a press F for Half-Life 3. Yeah. You've got a gateway to something, and the entire plot of the episodes is to stop that gateway from basically swallowing the earth. So this is what I was talking about before, using lighting to encourage player movement. Absence of light has a powerful effect on the player. On the way out, the hub grows dark and Main Street lights up. At Christmas time, nowadays they put LEDs all over the castle, and there's a whole Frozen themed castle lighting where Elsa comes out and freezes the castle for Christmas, and they basically clad the whole thing. The one in Disneyland I don't have pictures of, but they actually put new domes on all the various turrets with built-in snow, so it looks like the castle has snow on it. And these are all pictures. Remember, there are 2 purposes to a weenie. One is to draw you, and the other is to orient you. So where am I in relation to the castle? Oh, it's on my right. That means I'm facing towards New Fantasyland in this case. And and I know which way I'm going, right? So okay. This is my bad picture of the small castle at night. I also want to point out this is a different park entirely, but remember your lines. All right, just like back here, the lines pointing of our rocks pointing where I want you to go, pointing towards your weenie. Here, obviously, the weenie is the spaceship Earth. It's the big geodesic dome. There are, and Epcot is under terrible construction now, but all of the lines fan out from Spaceship Earth and point back towards Spaceship Earth. And they're spacey, this kind of future line. In fact, that area of the park is called Future World. There are only two lands in Epcot. There's Future World, and there's the what do you call it? The I forget the name of it. World Pavilion. Thank you. And that breaks down to, oh, we're in Mexico, we're in Italy, we're in Japan. And on the one side of Future World is the land and the sea. And on the other side is like, it used to be like the world of energy and space. The world of energy was this 45-minute long dark ride narrated by Ellen DeGeneres that by all accounts, I have never ridden it. It is 45 minutes of air conditioning and a nap. And they have now taken it out. It is closed, and they're putting in Guardians of the Galaxy. So, Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. So let's get back to the Magic Kingdom. We want our players to never be lost, but to feel like they can explore. Okay, so one of the wonderful things that Disneyland does is there are shortcuts, and these shortcuts are discoverable by basically anybody with one of these maps, right? So just like when we were walking through Higgins Gardens, and I'm like, look at the secret door, or look at the secret staircase. It's right out in the open. You can see it if you're at the right angle, but it still feels like a secret. The design of these shortcuts is so that a kid with a map can master the park and actually teach their parents, hey, Mom, if we go up here, we don't have to go all the way around that building. And it gives power to kids. It gives shortcuts to parents whose feet hurt. And it makes the park, like when you're there and when you're first there and you just want to get to Pirates of the Caribbean, there is a way, right? But once you've been there a while and, oh, geez, here we are in New Orleans Square, and we have to be in Fantasyland, do we have to walk all the way back out to the hub and up through the castle? No, there is a shortcut, right? So provide your players with shortcuts once they, so especially, I just bit my tongue. Especially in multiplayer, the mastery of a map is part of a game, right? So one of the things you want to do as a player is the question I always get asked is, do you know this map? And my answer is always no, I don't know this map. I have no idea. But if I say yes, then it's assumed, that we can use the shorthand for, have you gone, there's all sorts of shorthand for shooter maps, like are you upstairs? Are you in God? Which is, sniper post. I'm running in tunnels, right? And different areas of different shooter maps, especially nowadays with these what are you? I'm having brain farts. The Royal, what do you call them? Where you start out with 100 people and you try and kill each other forever. Battle Royale games. Thank you. Which part of the map are you in? So here, in single player things, we don't need that kind of shortcut and quick way to get from one place to another. But suppose I want to refer to something that I might have missed earlier in a single player game. So I'm thinking like Gone Home. In Gone Home, you can literally walk in the front door, walk and get a key if you know where it is, and walk straight to the end of the game. And I think you can finish the entire game in like 30 seconds if you know the game. Kirby Air Ride was the original Battle Royale. Sure. Okay. I think Battle Royale, the Japanese novel, was the original Battle Royale. That was made into a movie, and then they started making games. I think. I don't know. Could be wrong. The novel, yes. Battle Royale. I have a copy around here somewhere. Okay, so shortcuts. You notice Critter Country is, we have this dead end. Nowadays, Critter Country goes up here and Star Wars Land. But even so, you can bypass Star Wars Land and walk around the rivers of America. This area is Tom Sawyer's Island, and it's all about exploration. There are no weenies on Tom Sawyer's Island. It's all about getting lost and running around. There are paths. There are caves. There are things you can crank that will bring up pirate skeletons. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's look at pathing. This is in New Orleans Square. Well, actually, this is Adventureland, right? So this is when you come in. There is immediately an exit to Frontierland. It's actually quite tight. Right around here, there are statues that missed. There are two islands, right? So and Tarzan's Treehouse, which used to be Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. But essentially, and this is all. Oh, I'm gesturing with the wrong picture again. So this over here is all shops. This is a character meet and greet. Although I think no, Tiki Room is right around here. I think this is Tiki Room. Then Jungle Cruise, then Indiana Jones. They're all paths leading off. But to get through, there are these two islands, right? And it's twisty. You can't, because of this twist, you can't see Tarzan's treehouse. It's blocked by shops, essentially. There's plants here. There's a bunch more shops and restaurants here. But once you get into New Orleans Square, there's all sorts of places to move around in. It's still very much a quick way to get from Adventureland through to Critter Country. Haunted Mansion is. I'm just thinking about this. All of these little places are great places to rest and sit and people watch. This is a little dockside area in Rivers of America, and if you want to get through quickly, there's pathing to get you down there and move through there and avoid all of this. But if you want to explore, there's even shops back here in a twisty little New Orleans street of shops, and Club 33 is back there. Okay, so how do we tell a story through moving through spaces? How am I doing on time? Time is it? Somebody quick.
You had 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes. Okay, great. Do we know what a dark ride is? Dark ride is where you get in some sort of vehicle. You go into dark areas and tableaus are presented to you, which either individually or all at once tell a story. The first dark ride either happened at the 1895 Buffalo, New York Expo, or in Pennsylvania at an abandoned mine. It's a Small World is exactly a dark ride, yes. In Pennsylvania, there was an abandoned mine that an entrepreneur said, hey, we've got all this track that goes from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain that used to bring, I don't know, metal, coal, whatever. Haunted Mansion, Pirates, and Star Tours are dark rides too. Star Tours is this new screen ride. It's not exactly a dark ride because it's a motion movie ride rather than a dark ride. A dark ride, the tableaus are sitting there in the dark and are lit in various ways, and you move past them. Star Tours, you're in a motion thing and screens tell you a story. So getting back to the original dark rides, the mine, it was outside, right? And so you went down this mountain in what was basically an old coal car, just like in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, right? But outside. He put up mannequins that acted out scenes from the history of the area. Haunted Mansion and Pirates are both absolutely dark ride, though. The problem with an outdoor dark ride is weather. There are outdoor tableaus around Disneyland, but they are well maintained. This original 1900 dark ride, it was the woods, and he set up these mannequins in the woods. You went shooting by, and you saw them, but it was also Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has winters, so they deteriorated over time, and riding a cold car down a mine track is not exactly the safest thing. So the other possible dark ride was called A Trip to the Moon, and essentially you got in this what was essentially an airship, and it was in an airplane hangar that was dark, and this airship was more like a ship, like a big ship. It seated 40 or 50 people. You were on the deck of a ship. You sat there. The thing took off and flew over a diorama of Buffalo, New York. And it was tiny below you, and you're like, oh, we are so high, because we are high in the sky, because it's tiny, because they made little models, right? And it's all lit up with tiny little light bulbs. And this exact kind of thing is the beginning of the Peter Pan dark ride, Peter Pan's Flight in Disneyland, Disney World. But it then docked on the other side at a place that had these stalactites and stalagmites. They were all kind of paper mache things. And there were moon maidens there to guide you, because you are now on the moon. And they had dwarves and maidens that brought you into what was essentially a theater. And the moon maidens put on a song and dance show, and the dwarves did various acrobatics, and then said thank you for coming, and then you left the moon via a hallway that took you back out into the exposition. The problem with that was, by strict definitions of dark ride, you did not stay in the car of the dark ride. It is a dark ride coupled with a stage show. And I have pictures of this stuff. Makes me think of Peter Pan ride or Soarin'. Yes, Peter Pan ride is definitely a dark ride. Again, Soarin' is one of these screen rides. So what is arguably the best dark ride ever made? Pirates of the Caribbean. And I don't have any more time to talk about this today. So I'll pick this up in a week. But the Pirates of the Caribbean tells a story. And it's also a morality play. Dead men tell no tales, is the guy repeats over, or the skeleton repeats all over and over again. But it's got definite acts. On Tuesday, we're going to do presentations. So I'm not going to be talking, you all are. So the next time I'm going to be talking is a week from today. That's not to say we're not having class on Tuesday. It's just that I'm not going to be talking. Johnny Depp is known to dress as Jack Sparrow and hide out on Pirates Ride only when there's a new Pirates movie coming out. I want to know how many times Salazar even says Jack Sparrow in the fifth. Oh my God, yes, I've seen those videos. It's glorious. Yes, and I've been there when in the line there were pirates in the various little offline cages, and they would interact with you and yell at you and say, "Let me out of here! I'm innocent! I'm innocent!" So it's quite fun. The Pirates ride has changed over the years. They've taken out the rape, so that's good. I think that's good. And they have changed. There was so before the pirates chased women around the burning town. Now the women chase pirates around the burning town with a frying pan to bop them over the head. And there was an auction of wenches, one of which was a redhead who was known as Red. And most recently, they have taken out the auction of wenches, and it's now a scene with a pirate woman named Red. And she's challenging another pirate, and it's a whole thing. So remember, this is all a product of its time. Not all of it is great, but enough of it coincides with the kind of things we're talking about. And you should be able to tell a story virtually by moving through places that are tableaus, because basically a dark ride is a tableau after a tableau after a tableau, right? That is exactly what Pirates of the Caribbean is. It shows us different scenes, and we say, what is happening? What happened here, or what is happening here? And that was kind of the innovation of Pirates, is that with the audio animatronics, aka robots, we had present action in our tableaus, because these pirates moved and interacted with each other and said things to each other and were alive. Before that, we'd have the only kind of movement we had was lighting up different areas of it. Okay, so I'm out of time. Don't forget the tutorial. Work with your partners. Please go talk to each other to accomplish a pitch for your final project. Talk to each other. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. Stop share. Thank you all for coming to my TED Talk. And I'm going to stop recording, and you all have a nice weekend too. And I'll talk more about Disney for the rest of the term.